Hi there, so I've just spent a couple of hours trying to investigate and fix one of my shifters. So this is an Ultegra hydro disc one, it's an R8020. So this is on the left hand side, so the cogs where the pedals are. So as you can see from this photo, this is the setup I've got. So to work on it, so I took the bar tape off and sort of refix it on the side so I could get all the workings. Once you've got that hood off, you can actually undo a couple of covers and get some look at all the mechanisms there. So the issue was, so when changing gear, so going down a gear was absolutely fine, but going up a gear, what was happening, it just hit loads of resistance and just stopped. So you could force your way through it, but that took a lot of effort and it just felt wrong. However, once you did manage to force it into the higher gear, so the bigger chainring, what was happening then, it was absolutely fine. When you went to go on the lower gear, it went down into the lower gear absolutely fine. Then getting it back up was a loss of effort. So as you can see, I took it all apart to have a good look at it. And what I noticed was just here, so what will happen is you've got like a sort of a hooky pin at the top there, and then sort of like a ridge on this bit here. And so what was happening when you're going both shifters together, you can see that that bigger pin is coming down and blocking there. And what that's doing is stopping it, and that is the resistance that was being felt. So you can force your way through it. As you can imagine, you're just going to keep pushing, put a lot of force through this, and it will force it over the pin. And it does sort of work. So I noticed that, sort of having a play and thinking, right, that's going to be the issue. So admittedly, I did get a file out, thinking maybe one of these is bent and it just needs filing down a bit. Did that for a while, and I thought, no, that's not going to be it at all. And then I sort of had a bit of a play around, so I sort of saw this was on some sort of like a spring mechanism, and if you lifted it off, then it actually missed this completely. So I wondered, oh, what's going on here? How important is this bit? So I started having a play, lifting it off and trying to change gear. As you could hear just then, changed absolutely perfectly, and then going down a gear absolutely perfectly as well. But together, it's still getting stopped there. If I lift that little pin up, skip over that one, you can hear changing gear fine. If I lift it up just to change down again, you can see nothing happens. That's really loose. So from that, what I determined was this little sort of plate behind, that somehow needs to push up, and pushing that pin up so that it skips over this sort of cog, shall we call it, and missing it. So only when you want to go up a gear, but when you want to go down a gear, you don't want that to happen. So I then started looking at these arms and what were these connected to. So when you just go for the down, you can see it's just connecting up this one arm here, and that's what's grabbing that, and there you go, you can hear it going down gears. And this bottom arm, so when you do them both together, that's sort of shifting everything up, and that's what's wanting to go, if that pin's up, have it skip over there and go over nicely. Bring it down gear. Skip over and go up nicely like that. So that sort of highlights the problem to me, so I knew what was going on. And I thought, right, how can I actually get around and try and fix it? So what I want to happen is this bottom leg to actually go up a bit. So if I push it up a bit like this and then do the shifter, hold on, let's go down a gear again. If I push it up a bit and then do the shifter, it's absolutely fine. So what I need to do is get this sort of already pushed up a bit, and then that will mean it'll all work absolutely fine. So there is this little sort of rubber thing, which is a spacer. So I took that out and I was thinking, well, what I could do is glue something on there just to give it a bit more height, just to give it a bit more pressure. And I thought, oh, don't know how good the glue is going to be, don't know how permanent that's going to be. Once again, I thought, oh, I could glue or cable tie something onto this metal arm, once again, just to add a bit of thickness to it. But yeah, I didn't want to glue anything, didn't want to cable tie anything, it didn't seem that permanent, so I began to work my way around the shifters, having a look at them and thinking, well, what can I do to make a difference? And then what I did, I noticed there's this rubber bit on the end of this inside shifter, so that's probably just to make it slide nicely over the other lever. And I thought, actually, that's probably about a couple of mil. So you know, guess what? I thought, right, take that out. And then works absolutely fine now. So out of all that, something was misaligned, or whatever, the tolerances could have been slightly out, could have been a matter of anything, but in the end just taking this little rubber off here meant that it removed the spacing from those two levers just enough that this bottom one could get pushed up a slight bit more, which would lift that pin, which was scooted over there, and it means it worked absolutely fine. And of course it doesn't affect the down, and it means the up's working fine. So as I say, that took me a couple of hours working it all out, so seeing what was going on, having a play. So I'm really pleased that I didn't have to glue anything or fix anything on there, and in the end it was just taking out this little bit of rubber, and that has fixed the gears completely. So if you've got an issue with your shifter as well, potentially this might be the reason, and yeah, if it is, hopefully that's a nice quick easy fix for yourself as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps.